Yo, brothers and sisters, this is Ice Train. Choo choo! You are listening to the Dave Dynasty Show, brother. Choo choo!
The talking, nagging, lucha watching, puro viewing, indie supporting, drinking, cursing son of a gun of a podcast. Join former pro wrestler and promoter Dave Dynasty and co-host Ike Isaacs as they talk wrestling and interview those within the business, bringing positivity back to pro wrestling. This is the Dave Dynasty Show.
Greetings and welcome to the Dave Dynasty Show. I am your host, Dave Dynasty. Thank you for joining us. I apologize for the delay. Man, there's so much going on in the world of professional wrestling right now, and I had to catch my breath, and I had to process it. It is mind-boggling to me with this movement and all these people that are being outed for the things they've done in professional wrestling. Some of them not very surprising to me. Some of them I think I've been kind of beating the drum on for years, saying, hey, these guys are not what you think. So some of them do not catch me by surprise. Some of them did. And I would like to encourage anybody out there that has been a victim of an attack like this or been used or been forced or been coerced or had someone in a position of power that has some semblance of supervision over you or whatever it may be that has coerced you to do something that you would not like to do. Please speak out. Please tell your story. Please, let's expose this stuff. And man, it's just been a whirlwind. So I took some time to kind of process it, and I didn't think it was right to release an episode while this was going on. So that's why the break. But we do have a fun episode for you, all things considered. We have a great interview today with Ice Train. Do you guys remember Ice Train? He was in WCW in the late 90s, early 2000s, I believe. I'm not sure where exactly. I can't remember exactly where he falls in there, but I mostly remember him for Fire and Ice. His team was Scott Norton, and I always thought Ice Train had a lot of upside. He was very fun. I always thought he was good in that tag team role, and it had a lot of potential there. But we got a fun interview with him today, conducted by my co-host Ike Isaacs. So that's going to be a blast. So I also want to speak, kind of on a side note. You know, there's a lot of controversy about wearing masks and everything with COVID going on. Guys, let me implore you: if you go out, just wear a mask. Okay, if you have to go out and practice social distancing, you know, don't view this as some inconvenience or some infringement on your right. It's not. It's just a public safety thing. Be considerate, even if you're not worried about your own health. Be concerned and considerate about others. It's not that hard. Okay, everybody needs to quit making this some big social political issue, and it's just a safety concern. And just do it. Okay, just quit being an asshole. Wear a mask, practice social distancing. It'll all be good. Like I said, if you don't give a crap about yourself and your health, that's fine. Whatever. But have some concern for other people. And while we're speaking of concern for other people and being assholes, guys, I see a lot of people out there expressing so much stupid stuff and so much racist stuff. Guys, it's 2020. Get over it. All right. I live in North Carolina, and it's a southern town, and they're making this big deal because they're removing a Confederate monument, and it drives me nuts that people they're rewriting history. No, they're not rewriting anything. First of all, history's not told by monuments. History's told in books and stories, but these monuments are up there praising people who do not deserve the praise, and they should be taken down, and things should be moving. If you don't believe that, that's fine. Go listen to something else. I just don't care anymore. All right, I'm going to speak my mind. If you have these narrow-minded opinions and these narrow-minded views, and you think there's any justifications for the police violence in this country and the systematic killing of black men and women, and if you do not feel that there should be justice for these victims, then just turn it off right now. Don't listen to me more, because I don't want you as part of my listening crowd. Okay, guys, it's out of control. And I know this is a wrestling podcast, and I know I try to remain positive, but I'm trying to tell us all to be a good example and be a good light, and let's practice love, and let's practice common sense, and practice unity, and most of all, let's support the side that seeks justice for these victims of these things, that realizes it is not wise to praise racist, narrow-minded views in people who held them. It is time for society to change. Be a part of that change. Be a positive part of that change. And don't be an asshole. Don't be a jerk. Just love. All right, let's just love people. And all right, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I know you don't tune in here to hear this kind of stuff, but I had to speak. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have that interview with Ice Train, so stick around. Hey, make sure you visit DaveDynasty.com. That is your central hub for everything within the world of the Dave Dynasty Show. From there, you can find links to follow us on all of our social media accounts. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube, which you will want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have lots of classic wrestling, every episode of the podcast, and other exclusive features there. While you're at DaveDynasty.com, check out the links to help financially support the show. That is how we keep this free every week. You can go to PROWRESTLINGTEES.com/The Dave Dynasty and buy a shirt to help us out. PayPal.me/The Dave Dynasty to make a one-time financial contribution. Patreon.com/The Dave Dynasty to make ongoing monthly contributions. Or you can click our affiliate links for Amazon.com and HighSpots.com. No additional charge to you, but it helps us out. Thank you for your support, and check out DaveDynasty.com. Complete your experience with The Dave Dynasty Show. All right, guys, now let me tell you about a sponsor of The Dave Dynasty Show, Manscaped. Now, I know you've heard about Manscaped on lots of other podcasts and out in the internet and everything else, but let me tell you from personal experience, you will not be disappointed with the products from Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com and order yourself a Lawnmower 3.0. Now, let me tell you, you hear all the hype about how this can groom yourself and how you can groom all those places on your body that are hard to reach and that really need some attention. And let me tell you, the hype is all true. This thing is amazing. It is beautiful. It'll get all those nooks and crannies and areas that you need to groom. It's easy to use. It's lightweight. It's durable. It's waterproof. Guys, it's going to get the job done. And you need to get a Lawnmower 3.0. And that's not to mention all the other products that are on Manscaped.com. The creams, the colognes, the lotions, the powders, the washes, the deodorants. Guys, they have everything you need for personal hygiene and grooming. You will not be disappointed with the quality, the effectiveness, the ease of use, the great smell, everything with the products that you will get at manscaped.com. And if you go right now to manscaped.com and place an order, use the promo code Dynasty20 and you will get 20% off your order. Plus, you'll be helping out the Dave Dynasty Show. But guys, it's above and beyond that. Look, I don't have any sponsors or plug anything on here that I don't personally believe in, right? Everything that we've ever had on the show as far as sponsorship or our promotional material is stuff that I personally would use. This is stuff that I personally will stand behind and endorse, and Manscaped is no different. I've only had it for a couple weeks, and I have used the Lawnmower 3.0 many times. I am so pleased. And you will be too. Again, go to manscaped.com, place your order, use the promo code Dynasty20 to get 20% off.
And welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show. I am your co-host, Ike Isaacs, and today I am joined with none other than Ice Train. How are we doing today?
Pretty good. Considering all circumstances, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing out there?
Hey, we're living the dream. We're surviving. We're rocking and rolling. Well, of course, thank you, Ice Train, for taking time to be on here today. But we're going to jump right into it. So, first question. So, you grew up in the Detroit area. Growing up, were you were you a wrestling fan growing up, and were you a fan of Detroit wrestling like the Sheik?
Bobo Brazil, the Sheik, Bulldog, Don Kent, man, Mighty Eagle. I can give you the whole rundown. But yes, I was a fan of Detroit, man. That's my hometown. It was a great scene in pro wrestling in Detroit, Michigan when I was growing up.
Absolutely, yeah. So Detroit wrestling was some of the best, and is still some of the best to this day. So to follow up on that, to kind of talk more about your early life, you were also a college football standout. Tell us a little bit about your football days.
Well, let's see. Well, let's start with high school. I played for St. Martin. The Forest actually was voted the greatest high school Michigan football team in history so far up to the date. We won 13 state championships in a 20-year period. And I was on 3 state championship high school teams in Michigan, in Detroit. And I signed out of high school to Michigan University. And that didn't work out, so I transferred to Kentucky State, where I played 1 year and finished up at 3 HBC championships and 3 playoffs appearances for Central State University in Ohio.
Wow.
And got opportunity with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Oh wow. So that's a lot of football experience under your belt, of course. And obviously, as we've seen in the past, having football experience or sports experience, especially something as great as what you've explained, is a really good intro into professional wrestling, as we found. So from transitioning from football to wrestling, how did you get discovered for pro wrestling, and how did you get your foot in the door?
I was in the gym working out in Indiana. At that time, I was probably in 1992. I was probably the world's strongest man. I had about a 980 squat, over a 650 bench, and over 850 deadlift, and I was only 23, 24 years old. This is all real. It's all numbers. So, and I could dunk a basketball. And Pistol Paris Watley and Harry Taylor and a bunch of wrestlers used to come into the gym where I was working in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Paris Watley saw me training. And I was on the court playing basketball with a couple of friends. We were just dunking. I was maybe about 3'10" at that time, and I could dunk the ball. And they was like, man, you're a pretty good athlete. And that's how I got into pro wrestling. I moved to Georgia in '93, where I studied under the great Jody Hamilton, Paul Orndorff, and Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker at the power plant, and Jack Mulligan.
Wow. So, that's an incredible introduction into the world of professional wrestling. And obviously, like you'd said, you have the athleticism and you have the fantastic people to help train you and to get you into the business. But one of the most important parts about being a professional wrestler is having a name. So obviously, you go by Ice Train. Who came up with that name? How did that come about?
Let me give you how it happened. When Ice Train first hit TV, I had just torn my ACL. So I shouldn't have been on anybody's TV for about over a year and a half. But it was basically a discrimination lawsuit, and they pulled every African American kid out of that power plant, and they started sticking them on TV. And I wasn't ready to go on nobody's TV at that time, but I was a football player, so I'm going to suck it up, and I'm going to do it because no matter how the opportunity came, challenge. Eric Bischoff signed me to a very nice contract, and Eric Bischoff always treated me, man, WCW, I've never had any issues out of WCW. My 10 years there, it was, other than Germany, some trips to other overseas companies, they treated me really, really good. And I had no complaints. And I had never felt any racism there. Everybody, athletes, always saying goofy stuff in the locker room that they don't mean. They just being silly. So WCW was great to me. I loved it. And that's how I got out there. The name Ice Train, man, I don't know where I came with that name, but brother, I could not shake that name for nothing in my world. When I became Am I Smooth, people were still choo-chooing in the arena. I was like, to go up on TV and pro wrestling is very difficult. Our brother had done 3 years of house shows, but when I came back from Germany my third trip after winning the Bremen Cup, was a very popular thing to do over in Germany for all of us. It let me know I was kind of ready, and then they put me and Scott Norton together, but I don't think me and Norton were ready to be tag partners because I don't think they did it right. I think they should have just dropped the belts on us and let us see how we carried them, but it didn't backfire, and I say it didn't work out right. As Teddy Long told somebody on the podcast, I was so young, and it was hard to have a young, big African American guy on that card that was a great athlete, but you gotta put me together with the right dancer there to have the right program. That's all. So Ice Train was just a hard name to shake. I loved it. It's been with me for the last 20 years, and it still gives me opportunities to wrestle and do autograph sessions. And even when I do weightlifting stuff, they still look at Ice Train. So it's pretty cool.
No, absolutely. And also to kind of step back just a little bit, and you even kind of mentioned this, with a name like Ice Train, obviously you're going to get the fire and ice, gimmicks and the monikers, but when you came back from Germany, like you mentioned, you immediately kind of went to Scott Norton to form Fire and Ice. So how did that idea come up? How did that process go to say, okay, let's throw you guys together and let's make a team?
Well, we had 3 great wrestling matches on TV that gathered great views, and the ratings were good because there was no winners. There was just 2 big guys covering, and, other than Vader, wasn't nobody doing those type of matches. And the thing about Fire and Ice being together, me and Norton should have went and sat down with everybody and said, this is the deal. This is what we want. And we never did that. So they never expected anything out of it. And it was, I believe Fire and Ice at that time could have been one of the great tag teams. I just think it was done wrong. And me and Norton didn't really help the case. That's all.
I gotcha. So outside, obviously, like you said, the whole Fire and Ice gimmick, it didn't come to fruition in the way that you wanted it to. But what was it like teaming with Norton? Did you enjoy that process, or how was that?
I enjoy every battle we had with the Steiner.
Oh yeah,
because I think we really held our own, and nobody was battling the Steiner punch for punch like Fire and Ice did. But there were no other tag teams other than maybe me and Barbarian in the company to do that. So after the Steiners, there really was no program for it. And that's to be honest with you.
Right. And that's what I was going to say next is that... go ahead.
All of you didn't have that same style we had. The Nasty Boys or... Nobody could match me and Norton's style. So basically, after the Steiners, it was nothing else to do with Fire and Ice unless you put us with me and Barbarian. Because Luger and Sting wasn't going to do those matches or a lot of, maybe Ben Wyatt could do that, but it was a lot of teams that could work with Fire and Ice, to be totally honest with you. We were probably the strongest tag team on paper in real life ever. Jordan had a 600-pound bench press. I had over a 600-pound bench press. We were legitimately the strongest tag team ever to put some wrestling boots on. And that is a fact. Nobody else can say that as a tag team.
Right. And that actually kind of leads into my next question is that, obviously you guys were a powerhouse. You guys were a very powerful group of people. And then you got teamed up with another group of powerful people. Obviously the Steiners were very, famous for their, being very big people. So as Fire and Ice, you guys feuded a little bit with the Steiner brothers. But those matches were just big, 4 tough guys in a ring. Did you guys feel like you guys were like really sore or really hurt after those matches? What was that like after the match?
I believe it was the Steiners and Fire and Ice were made for each other.
Right.
It was every match we had was believable. Every match we had, people enjoyed. We enjoyed. And I enjoy working with Rick and Scott Steiner more than anybody. They treated me well, and we had some good matches, and we're friends to this day. So it was great to work with against the Steiners.
Yeah, absolutely. And then to kind of follow up on that, obviously, Scott Steiner has definitely made a name for himself in wrestling after being a tag team. And a lot of people kind of remember Scott Steiner as kind of being goofy a little bit. But do you have any funny Scott Steiner stories or any funny stories about your matches with them?
You know what? The funny story, I used to call Scott Norton Scooter. And I have no idea why I called him Scooter. And, no, the Steiners would be like, hey, I had against other people, not with Fire and Ice. When they worked with us, we had a total respect level for each other. And they were just fun guys to work with, man. And I believe the Steiners were really misunderstood, but I believe they're probably one of the best tag teams ever in pro wrestling history. They were really good together.
No, absolutely. I agree. So, obviously, as we kind of already touched on a little bit, Fire and Ice eventually did split up, and you returned to singles competition, and you even kind of mentioned him a little bit. You eventually had Teddy Long as a manager. And obviously, I mean, Teddy Long is a career, he's an individual with a lot of history in this, business. So what was it like working with Teddy? How was that process?
I tell Teddy all the time, and it's funny, we laugh. He said, Train, I said, what, do you know, out of the 100 matches I managed you lost 3 matches, 4 draws. He said, you got the highest winning percentage to anybody I ever managed. I said, well, Godfather, you know what, at that time, let me tell you what I thought about wrestling. I was a pretty good All-American football player. And I was so strong. My first 5 years, I didn't want to hurt anybody. That's so I could just snatch a person. And I'm telling you, it wasn't that fake strength. It was that real, I touch you, you might hurt today. And a lot of guys were just really afraid to work with me. And they should have been. Because at that time, I was really being influenced by Vader to just lay it in. And Vader was like, no more of that. Just tear them up. And if they don't want to work with you the next day, that's fine. But I never was out to hurt anybody. I just wanted it to be solid.
Right.
When I hit you, you felt it. My best match ever in Germany was with JBL. And everybody thought John Bradshaw was a tough guy. Man, I beat the hell out of Bradshaw for 6 rounds over in there for Bremen for the cup. And then we went out for a beer right after the match. That's how we understood it in Germany. Lay it in and be stiff. And when you bring that same philosophy to America, it could be a problem.
Right. Yeah, and that definitely.
But I love working with the guy. I love working with Teddy Long. Man, what a great mind he is for pro wrestling now and then.
No, absolutely, 100% agree. Certainly a legend in his own right. But to kind of follow up on that, another kind of shift that you had with your career, and you even mentioned this as well, is that on your second run with WCW, you renamed to M.I. Smooth, and you were a member of the New Blood faction. What do you remember about that second stint in WCW?
So just say it again. You broke up on me a little bit.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just saying you had a second WCW run where you renamed to My Smooth, and you were a member of the New Blood faction. What do you remember about that second stint in WCW with the Blood faction?
Let me give it to you. That was Eric Bischoff's idea. Maybe Am I Smooth? I wasn't really supposed to work for about a year. Right. I was just supposed to do a bunch of talking. And what happened, my mic skills had became very, very good. And I can remember doing an interview with Jet Eric before a match. And one of the guys came to me and said, bro, they're going to have to take you off the microphone because you're killing the people you're interviewing. I said, how? I said, man, your stuff is so real. Am I Smooth was just a real character. It was who I was. I I was always a funny guy. And I always could talk crap with the best of them. So I can remember an interview with Jeff Jarrett. He was getting ready for a title match. And he was like a little concerned about it. And I looked him in the eye. I said, "You're the champ. You Jeff Jarrett. You could do this." And I'm motivating him. And I would do stuff with Mike Enos. And I would go around the locker room. And Smooth character was really great. And then first thing they do in WCW, it's going good, let's put them in a match. And then they took me in a program with Canyon. And then we were on the program for about, 2 months. And we were having some great matches. I can look at the match with me and Chris Canyon against Am-I Smooth. And it was a really good match. And next thing you know, the company was closed. So I was getting my push at the end. I really was. And I could hold my own because I had grown up. It had been 5 years, and the light turned on. And next thing I know, the company was closed. And I decided not to go to Vince because I just didn't think me and Vince could match together.
Right. And unfortunately, that's a hard truth. I mean, a lot of people don't mix well with Vince, and I think that's probably for the better in a lot of situations. Which kind of leads me into the next thing is that, like you mentioned, WCW was purchased by the WWE right around the time that you had decided to kind of step away from the sport. And like you mentioned, with that changing landscape, it was just the right time to move on. I mean, moving on to WWE probably wouldn't have been the best, especially, but
Yeah.
but do you think, have you ever thought about returning to the ring after all that? Any interest in maybe lacing up the boots again?
What? I believe that, in the next couple of months, I'm going to look into being a manager.
Right.
Now, honestly, I'm not going to be. I saw it was so funny. I was with a couple of wrestling buddies the other day. And it's like, "Man, you look just like your dad." Excuse me? Yo, ice cream. Is it your dad? I said, "No, bro, that's me." No way. No way. Train, how old are you? 55. Oh, my God. You look better than when you look when you wrestle. I said, "Thank you." And I really did. I mean, and then my face ain't really changed. So I get so many times people want me to come out of retirement, but what I'm working on right now in the gym is I'm going to do me a 325-pound curl, and then I'm going to video it. Then I'm going to do me, I don't know. I don't like to go heavy on the bench anymore, so I got some football players that I train, and I'm going to challenge them to a 225 rep contest, and I'm going to do about 225 for 60 times. And that's what I love to do. I just love to train my athletes in the weight room, and I'm going to shoot a lot of videos on it. That's about it.
No, absolutely. And that actually kind of leads into my, the kind of thing I wanted to ask next was, obviously you've been away from wrestling for a little bit. Outside, of course, you're continuing to stay in great shape. You're continuing to train future athletes. But what else have you been up to since you left wrestling? Any other exciting stuff that you've been up to since then?
I really love the wrestling business. And really this COVID let me know how much I miss pro wrestling.
Right.
Because it was like, I didn't know how much I missed it until I didn't really have anything to do. And I would go back to watching some old tapes. And I just believe that I got a couple of wrestlers that I trained, Blake Beretta and some other guys who come down to my gym and train. But I'm interested in, I think I'm going to go to New York and see if I can, or down to Orlando and work on seeing if Vince will let me come in and be a manager.
Right.
Guys like strong. I think me and Biggie Langston will look good as an uncle or father and son duo. That's how similar we are.
No, absolutely. So you definitely have some plans for the future.
Yeah, I got plans. I miss my fraternity. And that's what pro wrestling is, a fraternity. And just example, I got to meet Devon Hughes at an autograph session. and he just made me feel so good on the conversation that we had, and it made me know how much influence that I left on some of the African American wrestlers, him and the Pope also. And I was like, really, you guys remember, man, let me tell you something. We used to be glued to the TV when you worked. We would be like, man, you would work, and they would take you off TV, and we couldn't understand it why. And I said, man, I really appreciate it. They made me really feel good. And Ryan Simmons told me, man, you left a lot on the table, Train. And I was like, really? Yeah, man, you have no idea. But I've never been a guy, because of my education, I could get a good job. I've never been a guy who pursued something that didn't pursue me. And sometimes you might have to put in the phone call yourself. That's all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so obviously we would be excited to see that return, of course. But to kind of follow up on that, is there any way, like, do you have any social medias or any way that fans can kind of keep up with you if they wanted to and keep up with your life?
Yeah. I'm going to start posting on my Ice Train. Matter of fact, I got my Instagram. It's called Ice Train. And I got a couple of photos on there. I got a photo on there with Bronson Steiner. I got a little photos of me doing a couple workouts here and there. But I haven't done any posting in 6 months, and I'm about to do a lot of posting. If you're into strength and conditioning as a guy, I'm going to California to work out with named C.T. Fletcher, if you ever heard of him. And we're going to do good workout stuff in the next couple months.
No.
So I'm going to be going to California doing some workouts. And at 55, man, I'll tell you, I look pretty damn good. Have some good coffee right there.
Right on. So definitely for folks out there who want to go follow Ice Train, he just mentioned his Instagram. Instagram's a really great place to keep up with somebody. And hopefully, anybody who wants to follow will go out there and do so and keep up with your career. But Ice, I want to thank you a lot for taking the time to speak with the Dave Dynasty Show and giving us a chance to talk about your career and your upbringing in wrestling. We really appreciate getting that opportunity to speak with you here today.
Hey, it's been my pleasure to speak to you also, man. It's a great thing to always talk pro wrestling, and I love it. And it's been so awesome to me. It is one of the greatest inventions ever in the world. When they first put those boots on in the 20s or whenever they did, man, pro wrestling is just as hot as it was 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It's a great business, man. It really is. Any kid out there who's interested in getting in it, they should get in it. Because once you learn it, it's something you can do the rest of your life. That goes from being a commentator or even a guy who's doing a podcast who's never even had. It's just a great thing to either work with, be around. It's a great business, man. It really is.
Are you looking for the newest and hottest in the world of pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on PowerSlam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 6,000 hours of the best events from over 150 of your favorite promotions from 20 different countries around the globe. Brands like Progress Wrestling, Evolve Wrestling, Combat Zone, Defy, PCW Ultra, PWX, Over the Top, Shine, and hundreds of others with fresh content added every day for only $5.99 per month. Get your free trial today at PowerSlam.tv.
Just use promo code DYNASTY. If you are looking for the best books, DVDs, and posters on classic wrestling nostalgia, then you want to visit crowbarpress.com. There are literally dozens of titles there, including biographies of the likes of Bruiser Brody, Ole Anderson, Ivan Koloff, and of course, Dick the Bruiser, as we've spoke about here on the Dave Dynasty Show. You want to visit crowbarpress.com for all of your classic wrestling nostalgia needs. Again, that is crowbarpress.com. All right, and welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for listening again. Thank you for supporting the show. on all those social media links and all those memes that were in the drop earlier, the clip earlier. That helps keep the show free every week. Thank you, Dice Train, for coming on and doing that interview for the show. And again, thank you for all you do out there, guys. And thank you. I hope you're trying to be a positive influence in the world, a positive influence in professional wrestling, whether it be a fan or whatever means that you are within this business. Just keep doing that, man. Keep shining a positive light. Keep loving people. Keep being good. And remember what I always say, wherever you go and whatever you do, be good, be safe, and keep on growing.